Welcome to Chemistry 1. This is Unit 4, Lesson 5 on covalent bonding, video number 1. So we are going to take a detailed look at how covalent bonds form. So if you remember, the word that I asked you to remember with covalent was sharing. So when we deal with covalent bonds, it's usually when two non-metals react with one another. There are a couple exceptions, but we remember that our difference in electronegativity is less than 1.7. Metals don't typically bond with themselves to form covalent bonds, but non-metals will bond with each other to form covalent bonds. So covalent bonds are formed when two atoms share one or more pairs of electrons, and they do this by overlapping electron clouds. So if they overlap the electron clouds, if there are electrons in that overlapping area, it's like both of them have them, so they share them. So if we look, when one pair of electrons are shared between two atoms, the bond is called a single bond. When two pairs of electrons are shared between two atoms, we call it a double bond. And you can probably imagine what the last one, if we share three pairs of electrons between two atoms, it is called a triple bond, and that is as high as it goes. So what we're going to do is come up with a method to represent how electrons are shared in a molecule. So we use something called a Lewis diagram to represent covalent bondings in compounds. Electrons are dots, as they have been. Bonds are represented by lines. Two dots are equal to one line. And compounds that form through covalent bonding are often referred to as molecules. So if we talk about a molecule of water, that means water is covalent. Sugar, like glucose, is a molecule. Proteins are molecules. But ones that are ionic are not molecules. So we have two rules before we start talking about how to make these Lewis diagrams and how to figure them out. Octet rule and duet rule. And this goes back to when we did dot diagrams. The octet rule says representative elements, if you remember, those are the ones in groups 1, 2, and then 13 through 18, need 8 electrons in their valence shells to be stable. And we've been saying this all along. So now we have a name for it, the octet rule. Octet means 8. The duet rule, if you remember what a duet is in music, it's two people singing together. Well, we've always said that hydrogen and helium don't follow the rules of almost everything else. They only need 2 electrons to be stable. Both of these are going to be really important when we start talking about writing Lewis diagrams for covalent compounds. So the next video, we'll go over these rules and how to do it.